This message is for light workers, for star seeds, for spiritual people who have been doing the inner work, and for all of the 4 a.m. clubbers. Listen up loud and clear. This is super important. The purpose of everything you are seeing is to keep you in fear, to keep you divided, and to display false power. And you are being called to back to your own power. So if you're looking at, all of the misinformation and anything that is to spark fear in you, turn it off. Do not pay attention to it. The salutes, the EOs, the attack on marginalized groups, the dismantling of equalization efforts. It's fear, fear, fear. Because when you are in fear, you are easily manipulated. And we ain't got no time for that. Because this is also an attack on the feminine. It's also an attack and trying to limit the rise of the divine feminine. And so it is only because they fear the rattle of the patriarchy, they feel it ending, that they have to go so hard to try to stop it. It's out of their own fear, out of their own worry that what they have tried so hard to create for 2,000 years is now falling apart because it doesn't work for the entire community. Okay? And so when you are in fear, you are easily manipulatable. And this goes for disagreeing or arguing with bots, because that's what it mostly is. Most of the people that are in the comments are bots. And so when they're saying horrible things, mean things, or if they say something slightly where they know that you'll disagree, just ignore it, block, delete, move on, report if you need to, whatever makes you feel great, but just don't respond to it, because that keeps you in an energy of fear, division, that kind of thing. And that is not where love lies. Love lies where I'm going to tell you. Okay. So I'm going to tell you some things that you need to do, and you're going to do these things at least for the next week, because that is going to die down the energy. That is going to allow you to come back to neutrality. It's going to allow you to come back to a space of your power where you can build from. Okay. So the first thing you are going to do, if you have it on, you're going to turn off the news. Yeah. Turn it off. That includes the news from TikTok. That includes the breaking news. If it has anything to do with that stuff, turn it off. If you find yourself triggered, and if you find yourself dragging on to seeing that and going into despair, or going into anger, or going into frustration, anything that is bringing those things up, you can just turn it off, right? It's not that you're putting your head in the sand. It's just that you're like, okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's what's in this 3D reality right now. That's what has been collective consciously created. That is what is necessary in order to get us to whatever step we're going, or to wherever direction we're going. I'm just going to say, it is what it is. Now what? That's my thing. It is what it is. Now what? Okay? Because I'm not going to go and fight it and argue with bots and be like, you are wrong and this is what's going on. No, because what did that do? That lowers my vibration. And I am here to anchor in the light. I am an ascension anchor. So that is taking me out of what my job is. Okay? And so I'm going to give you multiple ways to look at this, multiple ways to do this type of work. I'm going to save the work that the way the light workers and the ascension workers, I'm going to save that to the last one. But first, I'm going to talk to, if you are Christian and you are watching this, I want to remind you a couple of things. Jesus told you that the kingdom of heaven is within you, right? Also, if you ask, it is done, right? And that if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move the mountains, correct? Yep. So what I want you to do is to remember that power. And I want you to pray, but not like you normally do. Not the prayers of begging, the prayers of not remembering that you have that power. Not the prayers of forgetting that if you have the faith of a mustard seed, that something gets to change, that you can move a damn mountain. Not remembering that when you ask, it is done. It is already done. So I want you to pray not in fear, not in begging. I want you to pray in power. I want you to pray with the knowing that I know that I've been placed on this earth to live a life that is going to support me. I know that I came on this earth to live a more expanded life. I know, thank you so much, that this gets to shift. Thank you so much. I asked for it to shift, and now I believe it is done. If you believe something is done, and if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you're not sitting here crying in despair and watching everything and being like, it's not done yet. Nope, you have faith. You have faith. You have faith. You have faith, and you remember that you have faith, and you pray in prayers of thanksgiving, right? So first you do your prayer, the ask. And I don't know how this is going to happen, but help me shift this, change this, and make it a world that I know that it gets to be. Okay, so then ask and it's done. It's done. You don't have to pray for it again. You don't have to ask again. It's already done. What you get to do now is prayers of appreciation and prayers of thanksgiving. Thank you so much. I ask it. It's already done. Thank you so much. And start looking for the ways that it's already shifting. Start looking for, people were like, oh, the 4 a.m. clubbers and the spiritual leaders had put me in hope and now I'm in despair. No, you decided, you chose in that moment to feel hope. And because you chose to feel hope, guess what? You felt it. You didn't need anything out there to prove that you could feel hope. Hope is an expanded feeling. And so if that's the feeling that you can connect to, you get to connect to hope. But I want you to connect to faith that you asked and is done. Okay. Anyone else? I want you, if you believe in meditation, to sit in meditation. Get quiet. Imagine in your mind's eye, right? Imagine in your mind's eye 2 things. Peace. And what I was getting when I was putting this together was a surprise and delight, a delightful surprise. Imagine that in your mind's eye while you are sitting in meditation, quieting your mind. That's the feelings I want going through your body. Peace and a delightful surprise. Like, oh my God, this is so good. Feel that. Feel that for your entire meditation, okay? And for those of you who know, the light workers, the ascension anchors, as I call you, all of those leaders that I work with, this is what you get to do. Remember that you are divinity. You are divinity in a body. All that is expressing itself through you. Smile. So you get to decide how this goes. You get to decide that justice is already served. You get to decide that nothing and no one can take your power away. Because you are here to anchor in the light. You are here not to get distracted. And what's going to expedite the ascension is when you continue to work on you, you continue to shift your triggers, you continue to be aware of any shadows that do come up because you're seeing this, any fear that comes up, and you are meant to anchor in the light, which means that you can feel all of that fear, that like let the fear come through and say, oh, that's interesting. I am feeling afraid right now. Awareness. And then you get to acknowledge, I'm afraid because I believe X, 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 X. Acknowledgement. Then you get to feel that in your body, let the feelings come up in your body, and then you get to allow them and move them somatically, whether that is tapping, whether that is moving your body, whether that is having a good ass cry or a scream in your pillow, you get to release them. Okay. From there, you get to go to appreciation and love and say, you know what? I know that I was placed on this earth at this time, in this day and age, at this space, because I was here to shift this. And so I've decided that I am complete with this cycle, and I get to choose differently, and I get to experience something differently because I am the power. I am divinity. I am God frequency in this body right now. And then from there, you get to move in the way that you need to move, which means not in fear, not in doubt, but in the knowing that you decided and it is done. And you too sit in the frequency for at least 2 to 5 minutes of peace and a delightful surprise. Peace and a delightful surprise. And I want you to feel that. Feel what it feels like to be in peace and a delightful surprise, because you don't need evidence of peace or the surprise before you feel it. And then guess what? When you start feeling that, all of a sudden, delightful surprises are going to start unfolding in you. You're going to feel so much peace. It's going to not know any understanding. You're going to be like, how am I so peaceful? I see this. This isn't happening. Because guess what? I've anchored in peace. I feel no fear because I know that what we see out here is all a play. What we see out here is all old news. And you, the millions that woke up at 4 a.m., all of the light workers and starseeds that were alive and awakened before that, all of the Christians that really truly believe in the love and the power of their God, of God, right? That we were here and chose to incarnate at this day and this time because this is the work that we were meant to do. Love always will win. It will always win. And you are better together. Do not fight and bicker among each other. Do not even fight with those bots because that's all they are. And if you have loved ones who are excited about the transition, let them be. Don't judge. Don't be mad at them. Don't ask them to change. Don't try to argue with them and explain to them why they're wrong. You just be the light, and the light attracts people to them. And they're going to be like, how do you have so much peace? Show me. And then you be the evidence. You be the ripple effect. But you sitting in arguments and fear and debating with people that aren't even real people is not what you're here to do. And if you need to, rewatch this video once again, because you will just sit back, allow the people who to F around and find out. Don't be petty. Don't laugh. Just let them experience what they need to experience, and you be the observer and manage your vibration.